profoundly moving. It is encouraging. It's very enlightening too. And let's just peel back a few layers here as we go into this extremely important principle of singing all the days of our life, because it's one of the most powerful things you can do. Now, singing is synonymous with praise, but I might use that interchangeably because they are interchangeable through the Bible, but I just want to focus on that word singing today and really expand this precept, okay? We just read the account. Paul, he's just doing what God told him to do, led by the Spirit of God to go to this large city, a booming metropolis called Philippi, and very prosperous, very prominent city in the ancient world at that time. He goes there with his apostolic team, and they begin to gather a few new converts. Some had, even before Paul got there, been recently converted to Christianity. So they're meeting by this river, as I mentioned a few moments ago, because they didn't have a permanent place to meet. Isn't that interesting? So anyway, basically, like today, they were meeting at a theater until they got their permanent place, but they were permanently grounded where they were at. They were permanently happy where they were at. And they still had powerful services and church where they were at, even though they weren't, but anyway, you got the yes. So anyway, he's going to church one day. We know the account, but let's just kind of bring it up again. This young lady who was demon-possessed continued to say every day, and following Paul and Silas and his team, saying, these men are servants of the Most High God, and they're showing unto us the way of salvation. Now, what's interesting, I don't want to get into demonology right now, but just real quick is that what's interesting, what that demonic spirit was saying was the truth. There wasn't any lie there. They were actually testifying of who Paul and his team were and what they were doing. Now, you remember this, during the earthly ministry of Christ, demons would do that too. And that's one of the reasons why he would shut them up, is because Christ, in this case Paul, did not want anyone to remotely think that we're connected here. We're not on the same team here. So that's one of the main reasons why he took his authority and cast that spirit, that demonic spirit, out of that young girl. It was a spirit the Bible calls a spirit of divination. We primarily refer to it as spirit of fortune telling. So anytime someone has that, and it is, bottom line, it's a demonic gift. If they're not born again, if they're not 100% child of God, it is unequivocally certain and clear they're a child of God. It is a demonic spirit that can foretell future events, which is a copy of the true gift, which is referred to in the Bible as a word of knowledge. You're given divine knowledge about an upcoming event in someone's life. And you even have to be careful about that. A lot of people, they'll go to all those types of conferences, and they will cling to churches like that. And sometimes, because when a church is only focused about giving prophetic words, eventually a spirit of divination will come into that setting. And sometimes, unbeknownst to even the leaders, because you get so caught up on the spooky ooky thing about, I'd like somebody to tell me what's going to happen in my life. Let me tell you what's going to happen in your life. It's going to be blessed and victorious. Every now and then, you're going to go through some hard stuff, but you're going to come out of it fine. Every now and then, you're going to go through difficulties, but guess what? God is God over the difficulties in your life. So you're going to come out unscathed, and you're going to be better than ever before. More anointed, more blessed, and stronger than ever before, okay? So I just told you basically your whole future. Sound good? Okay. So anyway, cast that spirit out. The men who were making money off of her got extremely upset. They go to the leaders of the city, say, hey, this is what happened. And of course, they were part of it too, because they were getting money from it. So they just punished Paul and Silas, and what they did, they stripped them completely naked. And this was the punishment in that day and time in that region of the world, is that you were stripped completely naked. You were put in the city square in stockades. So your head and your hands were put in a stockade, your feet were chained, and you were beaten with rods until either you passed out or died. There was like no set amount. Only under Jewish law was there a place you had to stop. You had to stop at 39, and that was given with a whip. light punishment. This is under Roman rule and under Roman jurisdiction. They even mention that. So there again, they were beaten with rods, completely naked. You talk about humiliating. Completely naked, beaten until they passed out or died. Need to say they didn't die, but they were beaten until they passed out. Then they were unshackled and they were put in prison. Now, when they became conscious and they realized where they were at and realizing, you know what, we've just been doing good. We've just been helping people, just been blessing people, just been spreading the word of God, and this happens to us. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes when I've been minding my own business in life, doing good, helping people, doing the best that I can to live the life that God has called me to live and be an inspiration, be an encouragement and all of that, and people turn on me or things just go awry, I can get a little discouraged. Now, thank you for got 4 other honest people here. I get a little discouraged. And then if I'm not careful, if I don't keep that in check, it goes from discouragement to despondency. Now, it doesn't, but it can have that tendency to go in that direction. Because the more you allow discouragement to linger, the more despondency is going to attach itself to you. And then from there, I mean, it opens this box of everything that you feel sorry for yourself, you get angry, you get frustrated, you think everyone's against you, and almost if you're not careful, you think God doesn't care about you and all the things you've been doing in His name, it's all been in vain. So those thoughts can begin to come into your mind. Anyone ever dealt with that? You know, especially, and those thoughts too, especially if you go through a financial setback. So, man, I've been tithing for decades. I've been giving offerings, and now I'm experiencing a financial setback. So if you're not careful, all those thoughts go through your mind. So what you have to do is get a hold of yourself. Amen. Now, I grew up, that was how it was expressed to me. That was where I come from. That was a term we use. Get a hold of yourself. Anyone else ever heard that? Be it your mom or dad ever told you that, or your grandmother or somebody told you that. Hey, get a hold of yourself. And really, that's what we have to do, because if we don't get a hold of ourselves from the injustices of life, from the setbacks, from the things that have hurt us, that have literally plundered our spirit, our soul, and our mind even, if we don't get a hold of ourselves, we're going to go in a direction that's not good. The main way how you get a hold of yourself, first and foremost, is you have to maintain the song in your heart. You got to keep the song in your heart, which is the joy of the Lord. Singing is a manifestation of the joy of the Lord. If you ain't singing, you ain't got joy. When we come to the house of God and the worship team is giving it their all, we should automatically be singing. Automatically. I'm going to say that again. Automatically be singing. If we're not, it means we ain't got much joy. Because there again, I'm going to say this again. Singing it's a fruit of joy within your heart. It should be easy to sing. I grew up around parents, primarily my dad, in this regard, uncles, grandparents, relatives, who they just sang a lot. They just sing. Not because everything was going good, but because sometimes they wanted to make it good, so they just started singing. Anyone ever grow up with people in your life? They just sing a lot. And it's wonderful just to hear people sing. And then when you get older, you realize, man, you know what? They've gone through some hell and high water in their life, but they're still singing. And you realize, what they're going through now, but they're still singing. It's a manifestation of true joy in your heart and life. Because when you begin to realize that the song that you've been given within your spirit is a song of deliverance. It's a song that brings deliverance to you, and it's a song that brings deliverance to other people. There are 2 reasons why you should always sing. And I just mentioned, but let me clarify again. First and foremost, it brings and keeps deliverance into your life. And another thing is, when you are singing, it also helps people stay delivered in their life. It will deliver people from sadness. It will deliver people from heartache. It will deliver people from any kind of gloom that they might be going through. Paul and Silas had been vilely treated. They had been unjustly treated. It's just unspeakable what was done to them, that there was no right. There was no right that they should have been treated like that. And I know it's happened to you too, maybe not to this degree, but we've all experienced treatment that was completely incorrect. We should have never received that. We didn't deserve that. Anyone ever been mean to you? Anyone ever done stuff to you? Anyone ever cut you out or whatever it was? And it's like, are you kidding? I never treated you that way. I never did that to you. I never did. In my whole life, I never did, never would. Sometimes thought I would like to, but I never did. But anyway. And when you're unjustly treated, if you're not careful, you begin to sink in that prison. Now, I don't know who started singing first. And that's complete speculation, so I'm not going to go there. But I would almost venture to say that Paul, because he was the stronger of the two, I almost venture to say that somewhere in that dark, dank prison cell, beaten beyond recognition, bloody to a pulp, somewhere deep from within, a song began to formulate. And a song began to come forth. And from that song, we know the rest of the story. Of course, now Silas is singing. Now they're singing. We read it a moment ago. Everyone begins to listen to them. See, people are listening to you. Do you have a song in your heart? Your life should be a song. Your testimony should be a song. Every day, the joy that emanates from you should be a song. Victory should always be coming out of you, which victory is a song. Negativity is a song also, but we don't sing that song. Criticism is a song, but we don't sing that song. Yeah. Did you also grow up and your parents said, don't sing that song and don't listen to that music? Am I the only one that when your parents found out that you were listening to certain types of music and you were singing those kind of songs, your parents heard that and said, no, not in this house. I don't think so. We don't sing that. Somebody help me out here. Now let me ask you this question. Do you parents do that with your children? Well, let's keep moving here. But anyway. So the same can be true for us metaphorically. If we're not careful, we can sing a song of sadness. We can sing a song of defeat. We can sing a song of gloom. We can sing a song of depression. Kind of like this. Here's a song that's pretty much a song of depression. Now, in the past, I've been guilty of this decades and decades ago. And if you say this, and if you said this to me recently, I didn't catch it, okay? But if you ever ask someone, how are you doing, or how was your week, or how's it going, and they say this, not too bad. Okay, so that means that it's bad, but it's not too bad. So I don't know what your Richter scale is that determines when you cross over bad and really bad from not too bad. But what kind of response is not too bad? Okay, so it's bad, but it's not bad enough to where you're going to do something about it, I guess. But are you with me on this? No one wants to say anything. You're probably saying, Pastor, I've said that to you. I haven't recalled. I never heard it from you, okay? But anyway, that's a song of badness. That's a song of saying, oh, things aren't going well. My day wasn't good. My life isn't good. Now, it's not that you can't tell somebody that you need some help. That's different. It's completely different, right? But we don't want to sing songs that keep us in a place of depression and a place of a prison. We want to get out of that. So what we need to start doing is singing the songs about victory and joy and blessing and prosperity and everything good that God has done for us and everything good that God is going to give us. We need to be singing those given songs.
For more information about our teaching resources, visit our website at ciclive.com.